we're going to get to this. We're going to get through it. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about my life right now and where I'm at. And where I'm at right now is I'm in a rut. It sucks. It does. Nobody likes being in a rut, and that's where I'm finding myself at. Um, and this came about, the main catalyst for this. If you were following, I was involved in a car accident. Got hit from behind, and well, that's the main reason. I've just been feeling weird ever since. So that's the main, that's what set everything off. But I mean, it's more like a final straw, I guess you can say. Uh, there was a culmination of stressors and pressure, and it all just, I was handling it pretty well. A lot of stuff to juggle. Everybody juggles different stresses, but sometimes you get that curveball while you're juggling, and you're like, "Ooh, what did I do?" Right? And that was me with the car accident. I think I handled the car accident relatively well um, during the moment, but afterwards, you know, just this feeling I've been having. Um, but instead of talking about the catalyst that set everything off, I'm going to talk about the perfect storm, all the different things that came together. Um, I don't know why I feel the need to express this, but I do. So let's get through it. So one of the first things that happened, well, not first one of the things closer to the accident that happened was actually the reason we left the bar. Uh, we left the bar because my friend, she got a call from her friend, and her friend was freaking out. And this friend, she's my friend too, but this friend, she had seizures, and she had a really bad one, and it was enough that she couldn't remember anything. She didn't remember anybody, anything, or anyone. And she was with her boyfriend, and she didn't remember her boyfriend. So of course she's freaking out. She's thinking this guy's here to like take advantage of her or something. She didn't know what to do, but she remembered Yasmin, and so she called her, and she was like, "Hey, I'm freaking out. What's going on? Where am I?" And of course, my friend Yasmin trying to calm her down, like, "Hey, it's cool. Like, that's your boyfriend. You don't need to freak out. You're good. Let's hope you remember stuff." So because she had a particularly bad seizure, we decided to leave a little early. So we did. Side note, um, after a while, she remembered me, so I feel important there. She was like, "Oh, Chris, he's the one with the glasses and the hair." So yeah, I feel a little special that I always remembered. um, but yeah, I mean, we decided to leave early, and then of course, then we got hit. Um, but even before that, earlier in the day, uh, well, I worked at a bakery. It's a German bakery. Pretty cool, not too bad. Um, it was fun. Had a German boss. She was interesting. Um, but I came to work, right? I went to work, and as I'm walking up to work, I see the open sign is off. And I'm thinking, oh, they forgot to turn on the sign. I better go remind them. And so afterwards, I pass the sign. I head to the door, and there's this big old notice on the door, and it was a notice saying that the lease had not been paid. So that's a little bit of trouble. So the lease hadn't been paid. They owed $1,800 and plus $200 for changing the locks. They had changed the locks so that nobody could get in, and further it added that any attempts to get in would be criminal trespassing. So it's like, oh, things are not going so well here. So apparently that notice had been there for a few days, but nobody contacted me or let me know. So I don't even know if I'll get paid for the work I did there recently, but we'll see. I haven't gotten in contact with the owner. Um, but even then, that was something I could laugh about. You know, again, juggling. I could take that, and I juggle it just fine. Um, so after that, suddenly I had free time, and it just happened that my friend was leaving that day, and that's my next point. I had a friend, a buddy of mine. Um, he's here visiting his son, and he slept in my room. And he was only supposed to stay for a week. He ended up staying for like 2, um, because of a hailstorm that damaged his car. That kind of stuff. And that was pretty stressful. Not in a like a constantly like freaking out kind of way, but I mean as a it's there in the background kind of thing. Because well, one, this guy's good in small doses. He's one of those guys that he's fun. He's great to hang out with. He's a good friend. And I like hanging out and talking to him, but there gets to be a limit, and I can't take too much. So, plus he always liked the fan on when he slept. I hated the fan on. I don't like being cold. I have to sleep. I had to be all, warm and cuddle up and stuff. And he had the fan on, and I feel like I get sick when I'm colder. Like last time he was here, he had the fan on. I developed a cough, and I know, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't related to the fan, but I feel like it is. And I just don't like the fan on. And I even told him, hey, we're not going to have the fan on. But then eventually I relented. Um, but he also, I mean, my room's not the cleanest. It's pretty messy right now. But that guy, you know, he would leave his stuff all over the place. And it's like, yeah, I know my room's messy, but it's my mess. It doesn't mean you need to leave a mess for me too. And like he would leave a Ben and Jerry's ice cream container under the couch, and that was just like ah. So I mean, I really do feel like he overstayed his welcome for me, or getting on my nerves, and I knew I was getting on his too. So like we have a lot of discussion and stuff, but sometimes we have a little bit of bickering, and that's when you know that maybe you're in too close with a person. They may be great, but great in small doses. Um, so there was that, and then he left, which introduced a different problem, because during the time he was over, um, well, it's a girl problem. There was this girl that I really liked. Um, I knew and known her for years. We hadn't talked much for a couple years, and then we started talking again late last year, and I really enjoyed talking to her, and we actually got pretty close, and I would say even pretty intimate. We weren't dating, we decided not to be dating, because of distance and stuff. So we had an understanding there, and then somehow that got muddled up because she started getting jealous of my friends, and I started getting jealous of like who she was hanging out with, and I don't know, there were a lot of emotions involved, and then we spent time and effort reassuring each other, and she was my best friend, you can say, for the time I was talking to her. And then well, she met someone else, and that sucks. And you can make the argument that we had this understanding, and we did, but when you're there reassuring that you know you're their favorite person, and it goes back and forth, you know it does become a more intimate thing, and then it merely becomes inconvenient when you like someone else. And because it was inconvenient, that's when you say, hey, remember, this was supposed to be a mutual thing, but you don't, at the moment when you're that close, you know, I guess it's hard. It's hard to get that straight sometimes, and it's definitely not a situation I would recommend for anybody. Um, but yeah, we got close, and then that happened, and then we stopped talking for like a week, and because I'll be honest, I was having trouble dealing with the fact that she was now seeing somebody else, and then we started talking again, but it just hadn't been the same. We started talking again actually because of that car accident. I felt like the need to talk to somebody, so I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't have my best friend. The guy that had been staying over, he was gone. So all of a sudden, this dude that's just been around all the time, he was absent, and it just felt so empty. And like, I'm glad he's gone. Like, again, small doses, but sometimes you just need someone around. And I didn't have anybody around, so I ended up contacting her and started talking, and I realized how much I missed her. But I think how she viewed me kind of diminished, so that's unfortunate. I mean, it's not my first heartbreak, I guess you can say, but in addition with all the other things, especially with the catalyst with the car, it really became like a perfect storm. So after you know, we talked about the car accident, and she was talking very much to me, worried and stuff. But then after she found I was okay, conversation moved to other stuff and moved to like the other guy and stuff, and then she became less willing to talk to me, and you know, probably as a reaction or action, I'm not sure, but that's where it stands. And then actually I ended up calling my ex previously, uh, because I couldn't talk to my best friend anymore, so I called my ex for some reason, stupidest reason, and we talked for a bit. It was fun, you know. She definitely isn't the same person that I remember, so that too is unfortunate. But I didn't really care. I just needed someone to talk to, and she listened for a little bit. But definitely not someone I want to depend on socially. Definitely not my best friend. Um, but yeah. Oh, and to add to it, my glasses broke completely. That's more of an aftermath than anything. And so that's all the circumstances that actually, on their own, individually, I was dealing with pretty well. And then that car crash happened, and I just had trouble juggling it all. Now I'm in a rut. So, what do I do?